only here with the exception of Mr. Vinziano tonight. And consent agenda. AP warrants number 8 for the library, 9/25/23. Number 9, 9/25/23. Payroll registers number 39, 9/28/23. Number 40, 10/5/2023. And 41, 10/12/2023. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved as read.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor? Excuse me. Acceptance of the minutes of the select board meeting on September 25th, 23.
I make the motion to accept the minutes of September 25th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Old business. Follow up on selectmen's concerns from immediately preceding meeting, if any. Mr. Moody asked about the status of 55 Weston Avenue project. We have been notified that the groundbreaking is scheduled for Friday, October 20th at 12:30 p.m.
And you're all invited to attend.
Everyone's invited, and the governor is going to be invited.
Yes.
So,
Any other questions from Mr. Moody on that one?
okay.
Nope, just that I can't be there.
We'll take pictures.
Lots of pictures. You want me to move forward with that? Ms. Estes mentioned policing concerns and asked to have the sheriff attend a meeting in November or December. And the town manager needs more information to relay to Sheriff Lancaster. Are there specific public policing concerns that need to be addressed, and if so, what are they?
Okay, so basically, in the budget, during the budget process last year, it was discussed that we would bring that, the selectmen would bring that up, so that, the people, the citizens, the taxpayers could have a little bit of say. There was some, what kind of policing did they want, basically? That was and it was brought up at the town meeting in June also. That's why I think we need to bring that up, so that they can participate in it, we can get feedback, I guess, some ideas. I think it was more like try to do some brainstorming and stuff to see where they wanted to go, I guess, with it. Some people were not satisfied with the way it is right now. Some wanted to maybe go back to their own police department, which it's probably, we all know, it's probably gonna be costly. But so I don't know. I just think we need to bring it back up to the public. That's all, so that the public can have a little bit of discussion. We can have a discussion, but also to at some point involve the public with it too.
So there's nothing,
There's nothing specific for me.
nothing specific, okay.
Right. There's nothing specific for me. It was
Right.
just
It has been discussed a lot
it has been
around.
and it said and because I was on the budget committee at the time. And when it was brought up during that process there, they said, well, you can't do anything now because obviously there's a lot of work to even if you're gonna change anything, there's a lot of steps to have to go through before you ever get to that anyways. And it just was quite clear then that it would be brought back up before the next budget season,
Okay.
basically. So that's really all. I have nothing specific other than that was just.
Okay.
Mr. Moody?
How do we perceive about going about that?
You know, I don't.
We
know
can't
if
sit
that-
here and make a decision on it. I mean, how do we listen to the town as far as yay or nay? The other thing is before that happens, there's quite a bit of research that needs to be done as far as
Right.
cost factors and stuff.
Right, there is, and I think that was the point when it was at the budget meeting last year. I think that was the point, is you can't all of a sudden decide that you don't want the police department, or you want it this way or that way. Nobody knew what the cost obviously would be, and that's why it was supposed to get brought back up, and it was stated clearly during that time and during town meeting that it would get discussed again.
I think they're gonna find out that it's gonna cost them a lot more than what they're paying right now.
Right, and I don't even know that that's right, and I don't know. I mean, I do know that I've taken some comments from people that it's not even to even have a police department. It's like, just do away with the county altogether. Because we're already paying our taxpayers. I'm just saying, that's
Right, and
what's
that's
out
what I'm
there,
trying
that's
to
what's
do.
out there.
I mean, I can live with that
The
because if
discussion-
somebody comes in my house, they're gonna be there in the morning. But some of these elderly people,
I-
the response time and not having a law enforcement,
just-
they're
right.
playing with
I
fire.
I get it, but I'm just saying the discussion has to happen because it was, in my opinion, it was
Yeah.
promised that it would. So the
Okay.
discussion has to
However
happen.
you wanna do
Has
it,
to
I guess.
be-
Is it arranged to do like a public meeting on that, or some kind of a questionnaire? I don't know how to get feedback back, I'm just throwing ideas out there.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think we may want to have a meeting or discussion with Sheriff Lancaster first,
Mhm.
before we open it up to a public hearing. So it could be a public hearing as opposed to a town meeting.
Right.
And
right.
then the public hearing is to air, questions and grievances and whatever else that may be on people's minds.
I do think that some form like that fulfills what we were asked to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Okay.
And maybe the sooner the better.
And, right, and I mean, and when we go to budget, I mean, if there's people that, who really want to see it, that the police, it stays as it is, then, and, you can always have for that amount, or you can have that different amounts, or without it completely, I mean, those can always be options, I'm just, we just need to discuss it. It was promised to the public, and we just need to discuss it.
Okay.
Could you guys, as town, ask the sheriff what he thinks that we really need? Because I hear it almost every day working at Circle K how it's like we have no police in this town, and people have even said it. Why don't we just do what the police, the sheriff wants, or just get rid of the cops? I hear that daily. Because more likely he might know what he need for police way better than most people would.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have him come to a meeting, I believe, right, Denise? And-
Yes.
Yes, and so you can ask him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Randy,
So-
you all set?
My notes are gonna reflect that, that you guys agree that you have a meeting with the sheriff first, and then we'll set up a public hearing? Okay. Okay,
Okay.
yep,
Old business number 2, 20 Park Street, outstanding utilities, and the amounts the utility will accept as settlement. And Denise has indicated here what. I think that was just for information purposes anyway.
yes, right. So, nobody's gonna take any less. The only thing that they're willing to do is waive fees.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be okay.
So, I think at this point, we should just put it out there. For the 27.5, and just leave it at 27.5 as a minimum bid. And leave it open until we get a 27.5. So, I don't know if that's something that we can do. We don't do closed bids on these, right?
I thought
A sealed bid, you don't do a sealed bid.
Yeah, we do.
we did last time, we didn't get any bids.
Okay,
We just decided to sit on it at that point.
okay.
That was before it was cleaned up too, right?
No,
Oh, it wasn't,
No,
was
that
that?
was
Okay,
after.
we didn't get it.
We
Okay.
usually have sealed bids because, right, I mean,
Right,
that's
yeah,
how they
yeah.
usually come in, is they
Okay.
come in sealed
Yeah.
bids, and
Okay,
that's, but also we usually set some kind of a deadline.
All right.
And they don't know, I mean, I don't know, that's usually,
Yeah.
if you have sealed bids, you kind of have to set some kind of a deadline, because if you don't, you will never know if you got them.
that's true.
Yeah.
So, if we go with a sealed bid for minimum 27.5,
Then,
what do you want to use for a date? Do you want it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
I think 30 days is plenty, but maybe not even that, but I think that's plenty.
I think this is a hard time of year with the holidays coming up to sell anything, so.
Mhm.
maybe we ought to extend it beyond the holidays.
February 1st?
People would be more, give them more chance to get around the holidays.
If we
Whatever you wanna do,
Well, yeah, I was
I have
thinking
no
if we do
problem with just,
out there further and we get, say, we got a nice bid at 27.5, we have to wait until February to,
So,
I
okay,
don't know, do we?
but
do it short and do it again.
Yeah.
Do it
I was
they
just
do
gonna,
it.
I was just gonna say, if we do it shorter, and then, because if we set the bid that it's gonna be 27.5, then when they submit their bid, it's gonna be at least that.
Right, and if we don't get any bids for 27.5, we just put it back out there again for another 30 days,
There you go.
okay?
Or we wait until it's spring or
Sounds good.
something like
All
that.
right.
And then maybe, do we need a motion?
I don't,
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't care. We've already-
Second.
we've already
Yeah, I think
talked
you-
about
right,
25,
okay.
yeah.
So 30 days, and then redo if needed. Okay.
Okay, this is town manager, moving on to number 3, the Madison Code of Ordinances. Would you like to
Yes.
explain that to us?
I'm gonna make myself a coffee.
Well,
So this is just to clean up the language in the ordinance 572-9 for purchase orders. I brought it to your attention at the last meeting that there was some discrepancy between what we had just passed for purchase order policy versus what was already in the code. And this is just to clean it up and make things consistent. So instead of referring to the town bookkeeper, refer to the finance director, because the title has changed. I've added the purchasing policy section and the over $500 for expenditures. And rather than as determined by the town manager, I've written defined in town purchasing policy. And then the town manager is instructed to notify vendors that the department heads are required to submit a purchase order. And I've added a caveat at the end that just says if they provide goods and services without that purchase order, then they may be subject to revocation of their qualified vendor status, meaning that they can't do business with the town until they rectify it. No, you do need a motion on this because it's an amendment.
And do we have a motion to approve the changes to the purchase order policy?
motion to, the changes as stated, for the town manager, procedure. Well, actually, it's in
This is-
procurement, right?
It's the, no, this is actually the ordinance.
Oh, it's the ordinance, oh, okay.
Yep,
So for the ordinance.
yep.
So,
Any further discussion here? All in favor? Items of communication, department head reports for September.
Okay, so you should have a librarian report, you should have a highway report, Madison Fire, Somerset County Sheriff. And we do have, on your desk, I think, I left you code enforcement. So there's that one. And we do have the road commissioner with us tonight if you want to ask him any questions. Commissioner Gordon.
I'm not yet.
Been busy?
Very.
Anybody have any questions?
Of course she does.
Concerns? Mrs. Moody. Mrs. Moody,
Estes?
sorry. Ms. Estes. I got Moody over here, I got the Estes over here. Pardon.
I thought that was sarcasm at first.
No, no.
So, I think there's a lot of things that were completed for this, this season?
Pretty much, there's a few extras in there, but just getting ready for one, basically.
Yeah.
Getting things tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he has those.
You know what I'm gonna ask about?
I think I do, but go ahead.
Ice rink, are you gonna leave it set in like that with the banks, or?
No, we're gonna cut the banks down, just that rain, that's all planned. We're gonna cut them down, make them smaller.
So the ground underneath is clay primarily, that'll hold water well.
It will. So once I get the berms knocked down to a decent level, then it'll be all tied up.
One other question, so the door for the ice rink shack there, so whose budget does that come out of? Because there was a question about that, remember, at the rec meeting?
That'd be the rec.
Okay,
It's coming
and
out of
and
rec
they're
department.
aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted
I
to,
made sure they get a PO for it,
oh, okay,
because Denise is pretty popular with that. But we're gonna reinforce the door, because somebody tried to break into it last couple of years to get a snow blower out, or whatever was in there. So I'm gonna put a couple pieces of reinforced steel on it, to keep it, so people won't be able to break into it.
okay, on the new door, that's what you're
Yes.
doing, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, there was just, they were just talking about it at the last rec meeting.
Got it all taken care
And
of.
I was like, oh, that's not coming out of Edward's budget, I'm pretty sure.
No,
I'll do the
So
work,
I just wanted to make sure it was clarified to them, that's all.
doing the work, but that's it.
Okay.
I have one thing I'd like to bring up. Adams Road, we've had a huge problem on that road lately. You know where Adams Road is? Off 201. Haas lives on it. Madison.
So, like, yeah.
The road going down to the camps, that road is just, it's giving me huge problems, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. It's still a town road for 1.8 miles. My recommendation, and I'd like to see it happen, but is put a gate at the end of that road going into the camps. They've had some break-ins down there. The road's just getting tore up, and with that and the weather, we gotta make a decision, either keep this road or me dump in 30 grand to get the road where it needs to be. And Denise went down with me, and she's seen it washed out again.
he had just
And-
fixed it.
I just fixed it, so we need to make a decision whether to keep this road going or leave it up to homeowners' responsibility, because it's costing me.
If it, is this a town road?
It is, it's a
Then
dirt road
we've
going,
got to maintain it.
yeah, it's a dirt road going to the camps. About
How many people live down in there?
2,
That's it?
that's it.
And is seasonal properties, they're not year-round properties.
But it's a town
What-
road still,
What good would a gate do on it, Mike?
to try to keep some people out of it, so they're not going down, rutting it up, tearing it up, so on and so forth. Break-ins, the homeowners would have access to the keys,
Right.
and one for the town, but that's it. But this road is becoming a problem, and
Will it
You
get
know-
solved it? I mean, they won't be able to go around it, or?
no, they won't be able to go around it, because there's still an access trail for snowmobiles to go through there. It'd be past the gate, it's a cut across, I think he knows, but there is a cut across down through there, but I had to put in 2 new culverts in it, and the gravel is killing us. I can't keep up with it. It's like I told Denise, we spend a good chunk of money to make it right, or I don't know what else you guys want to do with it, but I'm running out of options. And I've riff-raffed the ditches over there and ditched it, but it needs a lot of gravel.
It being a town road, we can't get around other than maintaining the road. You know, whether we fix, do it in this year or next year, if that would hold or what have you, but, I mean, I don't see us getting around the road not being passable. We have that obligation, it being a town road, to keep that road open, whether people go down there seasonal or not.
Right.
And I think probably, I would suggest that, come up with a plan and a price and bring it to us. And we'll deal with it.
Okay,
Because right now, it sounds like you're throwing good money after bad. And it's not working.
it's not.
No.
Because, I mean, really, we need a lot of gravel, a lot of thick material, a dozer. You're gonna need a dozer,
Yeah.
because it's so bony in there. But it was either that or discussion of discontinuing that road from town. But I don't think it's gonna happen,
That
so.
you wouldn't, that's not gonna, discontinued ain't gonna happen, and, no. We're just stuck with it.
Yeah.
It's a one-lane road
Yeah,
and it's a dead end.
yeah.
And when we were driving down there, we were probably, what, half a mile in?
Not even, just a
And
little bit shorter
he
than
had,
that.
he had to back up all the way out because the road was,
And when I'm
so
talking about
washed out.
washouts, I'm talking 2 or 3 feet deep. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just getting,
Yeah.
but before I go proceed any further,
Yeah,
you know, I'm not gonna keep dumping a ton of money in there until we come up with a plan. I'll keep it passable, but
and I think that's what we've got to do, is come up with a plan, because it is a town road. And we're obligated to maintain the town roads, or you are, so.
I try.
Yeah. So I think we just need a cost factor and be able to give him direction that he's.
But the gate is more for people breaking into.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, it's an option.
yeah, bring us back some cost factors.
So I don't think we can put a gate up, and the reason I say that is because down on the, old incinerator road, or whatever you wanna call it, the person who lives at the end of that road wanted to put a gate up, but there was a part of emergency vehicles, they wouldn't have access, and so in case of an emergency, you wouldn't be able to put a gate up, and like that was a town-owned road. So I think, as I recall, there was a whole bunch of discussion about that, because the owners down there wanted a gate. And of course, the town would be able to have a key and get in and out of it or whatever, but once they put their houses down there, that was more of a safety issue for emergency vehicles to be able to get in and out.
And
So-
remember, this road ain't plowed in the winter,
Oh, it's not plowed in the winter? Oh, I didn't know that.
so one lane.
So, nobody goes down there in the winter, none of those camp owners? Oh.
We do
How-
not
how
plow
would
during
fire-
the winter.
How would fire get down there in case of a fire?
Helicopter?
they wouldn't fit.
They wouldn't fit,
Okay, I don't know.
there's no way.
Okay,
So is this, some of these camps on the lake?
no, it's not.
No,
Oh,
it's,
not, okay.
no, just
It's
regular,
woods.
I see,
Woods.
okay, yeah.
but,
And that's the only way to access those camps is just by that road, there's not another access to them.
it's the only way.
Michael would be happy to show you. No, seriously, I was amazed at it. I just was like, you kind of go between these two little bushes to get, and it's not even wide enough to be a road.
How did it get to be a town road?
And I look back on things, and they tried to discontinue this road 18 times since 1948,
Serious?
and the board kept turning it down. So, but, like I said, it's a one car. You'd be lucky if you get a Volkswagen down there.
So there's two, like there's the guy on the first entrance, and then there's the Stubers down below there.
Yeah.
Yep,
Right?
Yeah.
So their part to their place is all.
that's plowed, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's actually like a branch off from that part of the road. It just kind of
Okay,
branches
see, for
off.
some reason, I thought that came up and around and came out onto
Nope.
43, as I thought way back, I don't know, I thought way back down in there, that's what it did. But,
Yeah, if the town wanted to continue that road on through, it would make it a lot easier to sustain and maintain.
Well, you could go to the river road, do it, and that's it. But Jeff Wright owns the backside of that, so. I'll come up with some numbers,
Okay,
that's all I can do for now, but
okay. Thank you.
just letting you know.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, town manager's report on expenses and budget.
Living well.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I think I gave you the 10-15 also. Right. Yep. Cheyenne has been extremely busy, and she's, today was the first day that they had the KV cap over at 1 Madison Avenue. taking some of the residents over to Hannaford to do their shopping, so she's doing a marvelous job. Town manager's report on expenses, I think I gave it to you, did I give you guys this or not?
You did.
Oh, you know what, I have an extra one for you, Sally. I wondered why I had two. So the bottom line says we're at 28.99% spent, and we're at 15 weeks of the fiscal year, and that's 29%. We are right on target. And I can't take any credit for that. The big red number that you see is the ARPA funds that haven't been assigned back to the matching grant program. So attached, the second page is all the payables that we put out there for last year's matching grants. The windows, the building, the classroom machines, and all of that stuff. Any questions? I didn't go into a lot of detail for this meeting, but I can for the next meeting if you want.
You all set with that?
Numbers don't lie,
Oh,
so it shows it's where we should be.
yeah, that's it.
Yep, it is.
Okay, moving on to new business. The road commissioner wanted to add a four-way stop at Thomas and North Street intersection, and because there was some concerns from the people that live over there, citizens. Any
Yes,
update on
Mr.
that?
Road Commissioner again.
I'm still just waiting on, I couldn't get back a hold of her, so I don't know if she was working or what, but the lady that had
Oh,
called
okay.
in, so.
So there was a particular woman that was mentioning concerns about the fact that there's a lot of kids that live in that area, and Thomas Street from Hardy Street down has just been paved, and it's very, very nice and smooth, and could be a raceway. Could be a raceway,
It could be.
so.
Okay, so that's ongoing then. And number two, appointment of Craig Christopher to the planning board as an alternate. I believe we have to make a motion to do that tonight.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Craig Christopher to the planning board as an alternate.
Second.
Any other discussion, questions? No? All in favor?
Do we have the oath?
No. So,
You can have Trish do up the oath,
okay,
and we can just stop by and sign it.
okay.
But when's the next planning board meeting? Because it has to be, if he wants to participate in the meeting,
He has to get
he
sworn
has
in.
to get sworn in before.
Yeah,
And we have to approve that.
okay,
So that he can be sworn in and it's all legit.
yep. Okay.
Okay.
I will get that done.
Is that?
Okay.
Okay, select board concerns. Mr. Moody,
None here, I guess.
you sure? Okay.
Yeah, the road commissioners answered all my questions.
Okay. Mr. Bean?
I have two, I'm only gonna use one, because we got one coming up. And I guess it's a question, concern. Our code enforcement officer, is he covered under the town plan to have a cell phone and a computer?
A laptop to take with him places, you mean? I don't know if he is or not, but
Do you have any idea, Ron, if it's?
I'm trying to,
I know he has a cell phone, but it's his personal cell phone.
I don't think the town provided a cell phone.
Most of them used their personal
Yes.
phones, that, all the time that I was there, but again, they were part-time people too.
Right.
So that might be the difference right there.
If,
But,
I think that can be a busy job, everything encompassed, that if he needed a cell phone, or it can be justified, I think the town should provide one.
Okay.
another option, and this would be entirely up to him, I would think, is, yes, we could provide him one and pay for that. Or he could use his own, and maybe the town would pay a portion of his own.
Like an allowance.
Right, he would get some type of allowance. Maybe just because he might just want one phone rather than have to check on two all the time, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I would say that'd be his personal thing. I would prefer my own business phone if I was him. Okay, but that's not necessarily, that might not be, you know, everybody does things differently, I guess. I think I would just like.
I would feel better, and I think it's better business that he have a town phone for that business. And then we can publish the number, and instead of you taking the calls or somebody else taking them and transferring them over, you know, we can make it available so that anybody that has questions for the CEO can call that number.
I'm gonna guess he already has given it out to many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I don't know, there was some
But-
way that I'm not a technology person, okay, so I'm just saying, but there was some way so that, I think it was one of our code enforcement officers, he was able to have it set up, and you have your phone set up for a different number, and I don't know how he did it, but he had it, so he used his own phone, but he had it a little separated somehow. I don't know. I don't know how to do, yeah.
Well, technology today is pretty amazing.
Right.
This one phone can have 2 lines on it.
Yeah, see, and I think his could too.
I could have my personal line on it and the town line on it, but I choose not to, because in the event of a forward request or something like that, I would not want to have to give my personal cell phone information out.
Right.
So that's why I maintain 2 phones.
Right.
And I don't know if Jeff would be the same or not, but
Right, but
we
I
can
think
make that
that's what that
offer
code
to him.
enforcement officer did, because that's what he just preferred, and he only had one phone to have to deal
Yeah.
with, he didn't have to have it.
I think we ought to keep it simple, get him a phone,
Okay.
I think.
Randy,
Well, I was thinking, as a member of the budget committee, we should definitely have it in next year's budget discussions.
Right. Next year's budget,
Just so you know, there are actually many apps that would give you multiple phone numbers. There's actually one provided by Google that would give you 8 multiple phone numbers at once off your one line for free. And then there is another one, you only pay, I think, $2, and it would give you a spare phone number, data, and Wi-Fi as long as you have a SIM card in your phone. And your phone is not like locked by T-Mobile or another carrier, but
I still think we should probably look at one for him. Yeah.
Okay.
Town owned thing.
yeah, and I think it would probably be no more than $75 a month,
Yeah, right on there.
so.
Okay. Any other concerns? You all good? About
Almost there.
Okay, all right. The only thing I have is, it's not a concern, it's a notification to the board that we have an ambulance board, an AMS board meeting on the 25th, and we will need at least 3 of us to attend, if that's at all possible. So, 25th at 6 o'clock,
That's next Wednesday, right?
and Wednesday after. There's a regular meeting next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after is the actual monthly board meeting. I mean,
Ten-
quarterly board meeting.
10:25?
What time?
6.
I'll let you know. I got the softball
Go
coach.
down and talk to, I'll send out another notice anyway. Well, I'm mulling it over, so we'll think about that. Okay, just let me know. Okay, moving on to citizens' concerns. Do you want to talk about Mr. Cannon and then some of his
Yes.
disposal?
So I was notified by Mr. Paul Cannon, who was here this evening, that Somerset Disposal had made the decision, the business decision, to stop picking up recyclables even for their paid subscribers. So, Mr. Bean, I think, has a similar concern. Paul, did you have anything you can add to that? You were gonna do
Well,
some research.
I didn't find much. I did see that there are other towns in the area, Anson and Waterville, both recycle. And I'd like to get something started again here, even if it's not home pickup, if we could maybe even have just some bins set up somewhere in town where we could just go over and throw stuff in, rather than drive to another town. It's just, I hate throwing away tons of plastic and cardboard and stuff.
And who would take those bins to Norwalk?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if you can reach out to Norwalk landfill and see if that's, maybe do a satellite.
I think Chris would still do it.
If it's all collected in one spot?
Yeah. I talked to him and he said he's still interested in recycling. But
Did he say why he quit?
it's just costs.
Are the other carriers doing any? Are the other folks that?
I don't,
think so. I think he took over when the town took out of the budget.
A lot of it is participation. Participation dropped right off, and it wasn't feasible for them to keep it going, basically. People just wouldn't participate in it, no.
I just know personally, my trash flow's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ended up just getting the dump permit, and we just bring our trash, and bring our recyclables same time. Okay, so possibly having recycle bins in a central location in town, and I'll talk to Chris about if he'd still be willing to pick them up. And maybe we could do it on maybe once a month.
Yeah, I think he's doing it every 2 weeks, or once a month.
depends on how quickly they fill up.
Okay.
I think he was doing second and fourth Tuesdays.
But this would be an extra cost to the town, right? I mean, he's not doing it for nothing.
Yeah, so it would be at what cost? Okay.
It would be cheaper than him driving around picking up, probably.
Mhm.
That's true. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bean. You're on it, Mr.
I'm on it.
Well, I do have one question, unrelated, but the groundbreaking Friday on Weston Avenue, what's that for?
That's for the apartment buildings that are
Okay,
built out there. They're finally able to
Yeah.
start.
Hand that to him.
it's, okay.
There you go.
Okay,
Got it?
thanks.
Thank you. Okay, having no other business, I believe we are going to look for a motion to go into executive session to consider a personnel matter pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056.
Motion to go into executive session to consider a personnel matter.
Second.
All in favor? We are in executive session at 7:10. Thank you.
See you guys.
Take care.